back once again with another fresh cut. You are now tuned into the underground. My name is Mbaya. I go by the doctor. If you are not subscribed yet, you need to do that ASAP because I have some of the best content, most informative information on YouTube. Anyway, look, today what I have for you is a wave haircut, 360 wave haircut with a mid taper. Some people may consider this a burst fade. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into this haircut. The first thing you should be doing when doing a wave cut before you do any cutting is comb out everything. Make sure you pick up all the hair, get it all the way up. That way the blades and the comb attachments, as in guards, can go through smoothly. I'm going to be using my Rebel from Stylecraft with the clipper lever closed, using a number 2 guard, going with the grain, of course. Making sure everything is cut evenly all the way around. My guy is a waver, but he is not an elite waver, so you top tier waver guys, don't come for me because I didn't keep the lever open around his crown area. This is what my man's wants, all right? He wants to keep it dark, keep it full. Don't cut out his waves. Make sure everything is on point. That's all he wants. So he was in about a week and a half ago. This is pretty much, I guess we could consider this a touch-up haircut to some people, but it's really just a wave cut. You don't want to be doing too much when it comes to cutting waves, so make sure you're just molding everything in. I have my number 1.5 guard with the clipper lever open, of course, making sure I get just around the edge, right in that lineup area, smoothing everything out for the lineup as well as prepping for the taper. Just kind of removing a little bit of that weight. Just be sure to adjust that lever accordingly. Avoid making any mistakes. This will create more work for you the further into the haircut you go. Anyways, as you all know, I usually keep a certain amount of overhang to help manipulate the lineup later. So this is exactly what I am doing when I'm molding the hair lineup and stuff like that. And anyway, this is just me really quickly demonstrating where the low taper would be if that's what we were going for, but we're doing a mid taper, so I'm going to take that up a little higher. This is where my guideline will be set, my bald guideline that is. Now to get into the real deal business of what this video is mainly about, the mid taper. I'm gonna go in with my clipper lever open on my Rebel, making sure I keep everything symmetrical. You can make these lines anywhere from a ½ inch to an inch. I keep them right about an inch, maybe just a little under an inch. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my 1 guard, clipper lever open, of course. This is how I set in my guidelines. I keep the lever always open. You can close it if you want, but it just helps so much more to keep everything uniform by keeping it open. This is my 1.5. I'm going in with that one open as well, staying right underneath that occipital bone. I'm not really gonna go too high into the hair or the waves. I'm gonna keep it right in the nape area. So just kind of detailing that number 1.5 in. Then I'm going to move on to my 2 guard, clipper lever open, of course, and start to remove a little bit of that bulk, softening that up. If necessary, you can go into a 3, but I'm not gonna do all that. If I see it fit, then yeah, for sure. But I'm just gonna keep the 2 guard. So I'm going in with no guard, clipper lever open halfway. Start to soften out that first guideline I created with my trimmer. Now close it all the way and zero that out. And we have achieved our blurry taper blend. And you slowly start to detail by opening the clipper lever slightly. And just a FYI, this is my PROTÉGÉ clipper. If you watched my last video, I had made an update on how I converted my click lever into a floating lever, and this thing is working flawlessly. Definitely loving this thing. Anyway, moving forward, we're gonna go ahead and slap on that number 1 guard with the clipper lever open halfway and start to soften up that guideline slowly erasing it, removing it. You want to take your time about this. I know I have my video sped up, but blurry blends take time. Therefore, with that being said, go ahead and close that clipper lever and start to erase that line completely. This won't remove it out all the way, but you definitely should take your time, go through all the different stages, slowly start to open that clipper lever, softening up that line more, and be the judge. Don't listen to exactly what I'm saying to you as if it's just going to work automatically like that. And you can see I just threw on a 0.5 guard or 0 guard and started to erase the line completely. This is the detail work that the 0.5 is meant for. Slowly move that clipper lever, adjust it, work it. It's all about flicking that thing back and forth, making sure that you are working that magic. You can go about these guidelines and different formulas that I'm showing you by adjusting the clipper lever, but this won't always be the case depending on whose hair you're working on, what kind of hairstyle you're doing. You have to improvise. Be the judge. Just remember, regardless to whatever blade that you have your trimmer or clipper equipped with, no matter what, all hair textures do not react accordingly to the clipper or trimmer blades. It's just the truth. And there's some blades that just are not enough to save that person that is sitting in your chair or help them out in any way. Some people just have that tough hair, for example, the Kevin Durant. You have blades that will help the situation, but it's just almost impossible to help that individual. Just the facts, y'all. But as you can see, still doing detail work. I lost the guard completely. No guard. I'm going in using my corners only, making sure that everything is blended out completely. It's all about detail work. As you can see, with my clipper lever open all the way using my number 1 guard, I'm going around the ear, making sure I use those corners. If I gotta get the blade or the guard flat, go for it, but just kind of removing a little bit of that bulky overhang from the hairline, just a little bit, and keeping just enough to where when I set in that line, that 3D effect is money. But really quickly, I'm just going to demonstrate how to set in the low taper like I did on the nape area. By using the corner of the eye, I'm going to go ahead and set this guideline in. Really, I'm using this just to help me clean up the cheek area going down to underneath the neck. Other than that, the mid taper, which is the main event of this video, is set by using the eyebrow as the guide. That is what you should be looking at when setting in a mid taper. And I kind of had a little bit of an arch shape to it so we can kind of get that burst effect going as I go higher into the hair when I set in the rest of the guidelines. Up next, I'm going to go ahead and grab my clipper with the lever all the way open, no guard. Go up about, let's say, a ½ inch to an inch. You can do whichever one you see fit. In this case, I did a ½ inch. And I'm going to go ahead with my number 1 guard, do the same thing. Clipper lever open, go up, create that guideline. Remember, y'all, every time when I'm setting in my guidelines, I use the clipper lever open. Then when I work my way down, I start to close halfway, then close all the way. So as you can see, I'm setting in my number 1.5, clipper lever open, of course. Then I'm gonna go ahead after this with my 2 guard, and I'll also throw in the 3 guard just to remove a little bit of the bulk. Okay, so now that we have all the guidelines set in and ready to go, we're gonna go ahead with the clipper lever open halfway, no guard, and start to slowly erase that line. Then close it immediately right after. And slowly, of course, go in and start to remove that line and open it a little bit. And you gotta remember, be the judge. Same thing with the 1 guard. Halfway open, soften that line up a little bit, close it all the way, start to erase it. And I'm gonna go ahead and open up just a little bit because I'm going up higher into that 1.5. So I don't wanna cut out too much because the rest of that line will be taken care of by the 0.5 or 0 guard, as some people call it. And right after, of course, I'm gonna jump in with my 0 guard, close it halfway, start to remove that line a little bit, softening it up. This is the detail work. Close it all the way, and slowly start to open it, or you can open it all the way. You be the judge. It's all up to you. What you are seeing, you cut it. Like I said before, all hair reacts differently to the blades. Everybody's hair is not going to be the same if you're using, let's say, a deep tooth blade or a shallow tooth blade. It's not going to react the same. With the detail work, whatever's left over, I can go back. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to my 1.5 with the clipper lever open halfway by, of course, softening up that 1.5 guideline that I created earlier with the clipper lever open, easing my way into the 2 by going halfway, closing it, then opening it, and slowly detailing it. You be the judge. Do not let me mislead you by saying everything that I am doing in this video is the way that you should go about your haircuts. As you can see, I jumped over to the 2 guard, keeping that same consistency with the same steps. Do not cheat yourself to achieve blurry blends. You have to trust in the process. I've said this in multiple other videos before. I want to teach you from the ground up the process of how I do things and how easy it can be as you get better with using my formula. If this doesn't work out for you, there's plenty of other YouTube videos that I have posted that will show you a similar execution but done differently. This way may be a little challenging for some, and others may just get it right off rip. But I teach easy. I don't complicate life for anybody. You work smarter, not harder. With that being said, if I'm working too hard and difficult for you and my quality, the process that I take is too much, there's other YouTubers out there that you can definitely check out. But anyway, I'm gonna speed through this right side of his head. Now that I have everything symmetrical with the left and the right, it's time to do some detail work. I'm gonna get my Uno shaver, my single foil shaver, and get right in that taper, give it a little bit of a stretch, get on the sides, and get around in the nape area, making sure everything's smooth and transitioning real proper. When it comes to wave cuts, do not leave anything behind. Don't miss not one hair. They notice it. If you push them back, they know. If you try anything out of the ordinary, they know you cannot get anything past a waver. It's equivalent to cutting someone's hair that wears a comb over. You know what I'm saying? It's like sacred when it comes to waves. Now, this individual in the chair for sure is picky, but he feels safe when he's in my chair, and that's all that matters. For as long as I've been cutting his hair, he's been nothing but solid and definitely appreciates my work. So I got to make sure that I follow through and be a solid barber for him, especially for the simple fact that he is a waver. And that's not even to try to make this sound light in any way, because wavers don't play about their haircut. As you can see, I just sprayed water over the top of his hair, just plain water, no tricks, no gimmicks. And I'm going to go ahead and apply a hairbrush all around. This is a curved brush. I'm just making sure everything's laid out, and I'm applying a little bit of some heat up top with the blow dryer and the attachment, of course, as I blow dry the hair. I'm going to go ahead and start off in the middle and work my way out in the vertical bars for this lineup. We're jumping right into it, of course, wasting no time. He does have a little bit of overcorrecting that has to be done, so that's something that he does not mind when it comes to lining them up. One side is a little bit lifted compared to the other, which this is something I will show in a whole nother video on how to go about lineups that don't match up evenly or are not evenly distributed on both sides of the head. We're talking like the left and the right, especially like with wavers. Wavers have the wave pattern, which throws off the entire lineup all the way. So you got to do a lot of brushing and combing out of the hair to make sure that every single piece of hair is cut. So as you can see, this line is definitely turning out pretty good, real smooth. This is due to the fact that I left overhang behind, which I am manipulating now. So as you can see, there's no color applied here. This is just a straight up raw, real deal cut. I'm lining it up, going right at it, not wasting any time, just attacking the line, making sure those vertical bars are clean, symmetrical, no room for mistakes. Like I say, this is a waver cut. You don't play around with the waver cut. This is something to be taken very, very seriously. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the vertical bars. Then I will move on to the C cups. I am also using two trimmers as I go about this. I'm jumping back and forth with my Stylecraft Rebel as well as my Gamma Hitter, which is equipped with the ES4 blade, which I am using to attack these C cups. As you can see, overhang being cut out, and I'm just molding that line in there, making sure that I create a three-dimensional look as if it's been colored. I don't know how I do it, y'all, but it just happens this way. I know a lot of people will not believe that I don't manipulate my lineups, but at this point, I think this may be the last time that I ever say anything about my haircuts being enhanced or not. It is what it is. At the end of the day, just get your money, do what you do. If I ever bring it up, hey, look, I just can't help myself. Sometimes you got to just speak what is truth into the reality. As you can see, I'm combing overhang, just showing you how much of the overhang there is. I leave quite a bit of overhang. There's a video on IG right now that I mentioned in one of my past videos that is describing or explaining how I manipulate overhang to help my lineups look as if they have been enhanced. It does make a huge difference if you leave overhang and blend the hair into the overhang, making sure that everything is actually making sense and not just a big chunk of fringed hair, aka bang, just lapping over somebody's forehead or ear. You don't want that. You got to make it look good. So if this looks good, I appreciate you for enjoying such an exquisite sight. I try my best. I do my best. I am not the best barber. I never claimed to be the best, never claimed to be the GOAT. Many have called me the GOAT, but it is what it is. People are going to call it like they see it. I never named myself the doctor, by the way. One of my OGs started to call me the doctor. He would come into the shop obnoxiously every time when he would come and get his haircut. And that's how I came about to be called the doctor, because he would always say he wanted CPR. And yeah, the rest is history. But anyway, as you can see, this lineup is completed. I have gone around the ears, done the whole full deal in the front. Now all that is left is to execute this goatee and make sure that we keep everything as natural as possible. He doesn't like to have it too thin or too wide. We just keep just the right amount to make this thing look really good and have it really popping naturally. He doesn't really like to use any razor in the inside part of the goatee, so there won't be any of that. I won't even apply the shaver at all in that area. He doesn't really appreciate what happens. He does break out. Some people are just really sensitive in that inner part of the bottom lip area. So definitely we don't touch that part. We just let it be. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. It was a bit lengthy. I haven't done one of these for some time. I've been hoping to do more haircut tutorials that are full length. Just expect more down the road. If you have any requests, please leave a comment for a haircut style that you would like to see me demonstrate or execute, whichever way you want to see it. Please leave a comment. I'll be more than glad to get a video out there that helps show you how to go about whichever haircut it is that you are requesting. Yeah, other than that, this is definitely the cut. I'm just going to do a little bit of some detail work as I wrap up. And please like I say, comment, share this video to anybody that you know that may find this informative. Follow me on all my different platforms. Subscribe to this channel. No gimmicks, just the real deal. No secrets, all facts. I'm spilling everything. I got you covered. But yeah, catch me on the next one.